What's good, YouTube? It's RPU here, and I'm back again with another video. And guys, today I want to talk to you about 2 weeks notice and breaking up with your boss. Have you ever gave a job or a company like 2 weeks notice? Let me know in the comments, like, how did your boss or how did the company like react to it? Because like this is like a first for me. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up, like, most of the other jobs that I had, I got fired from. And so this is like my first time ever like giving a company like 2 weeks notice, and my boss was like so hurt. It was like almost as bad as a breakup. Because like I had been working with my previous boss for like 3 years, right? Since 2019. And I'm really grateful for him for giving me the opportunity to be able to work in this field. I'm in the field of healthcare, basically non-emergency medical transportation. I take the elderly to their doctor's appointments, hospital visits, dialysis. In my previous at my previous job, I used to take people to methadone clinics. And so, yeah, I was so grateful for him to give me the opportunity, because prior to that, I was breaking my back in a warehouse. And so, yeah, this is like pretty easy. I just drive around, pick up people and drop them off. It's basically like Uber for the elderly. And it's great. The pay has been pretty decent. And the work is very, I wouldn't say stable, but it's been consistent. And up until recently, I don't know, something happened where somehow I think my boss is like contracted to the federal government, and they like accept the elderly and like their medical insurance, right? So he's accepting patients from like Medi-Cal, which is like some medical insurance, right? But recently, a lot of these Medi-Cal patients have been switched over to like different insurance plans, and like Health Net or something else. And when these patients get switched over to the new insurance, they're no longer covered for us to pick them up. So like when I first started, it was like jam-packed every day. I was getting like 10, 15 pickups every day, And that's how I like my schedule. Non-stop, on the go, sliding. Like, I'll be all around the city, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And, but up until recently, like, my schedule has just been getting smaller and smaller. And my checks were starting to get smaller and smaller. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, what's going on and stuff, right? And so, I'm just talking to patients, and I'm hearing through the grapevine that Medi-Cal is going broke, and they're trying to get all of these patients, like, off of Medi-Cal and, like, switch them to other insurance. And yeah, I'm asking my boss the same thing. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are we losing all these patients? And he's saying, they once they switch from Medi-Cal, we can no longer accept them. And so I'm like, wow, So yeah, we were losing a lot of patients. I guess Medi-Cal is going broke, and losing patients is making my checks getting smaller and smaller. And so I tried to get more patients, like, because I was going to take people to dose at the methadone clinic. And so I see people out there, I'm passing out my the business cards, like, hey, if you need rides, If you got Medi-Cal, we can pick you up. Woo woo woo. And so I had, one patient that, was really going to let me start picking him up every day, which would have been like a huge boost to my check, right? And they said they had Medi-Cal. Everything was good. The patient called my boss and said that he said that he couldn't accept him. And I'm like, why not? Why not? They have Medi-Cal, and they should be good to go. And he was just like, nah, we can't accept her. So to the I don't know, it seemed like the business was starting to like fail. I don't know, and I wasn't trying to go down with the ship, I mean, I'm grateful for this guy, I'm loyal to this guy, I've been working for him 3 years straight. I only took off like maybe like 2 or 3 days off, out of that entire time. Like even when I went to the dentist to like go get dentist work, I still went to work like right after I got teeth work done. So, I work, and he was paying me good, so I was loyal to that to the job. And so, later down the line, this other company was trying to offer me a position, right? And they were like, oh yeah, we'll give you the big truck. Your schedule's gonna be full time. What else did they say? And they said there was like room to like move up in the company, so like I could potentially like move up to be like a supervisor and stuff like that, or be like the person like making everybody's schedules every day, kind of like dispatch, I guess. So I was like, oh, okay, but I'm loyal to my other boss. I'm like, I'm telling him like, look, like I've been working this job for 3 years. I don't want to just quit my job if it's not good. And they were like, oh yeah, it's good. You can come work for us. Woo woo woo. And so I told him, I said, well, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do anything until after until like April, because I'm planning to go out of town to Cornova. I already had this planned in advance, so like nobody's gonna stop me from going to the Cornova. And so they were like, oh, that's fine. We can wait. We can get you started right around the 1st of April. So I'm like, okay, it's good, But at the time, I wasn't really like tripping off of it, because I wasn't really trying to like switch. But man, the schedule just started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then like my boss like hired another worker too. Like he hired another driver, and like I think he gave like that driver like a portion of my schedule. So my check started getting even smaller, which was starting to piss me off, like, because I've been working for you nonstop. Like, don't take food off my plate to get to another driver. Just like get some more patience or something, because I've been here, but I never said nothing, because like it's his job, it's his company, and he's the boss, and I'm just the worker, and he's gonna do whatever he wants to do. So if he's gonna hire another worker, that's what it is, So I never really complained, I just did whatever was on my schedule. I did it, and I didn't complain, And I really, I like that job. I drove like long distance. Sometimes, I drove to Chico one time. I drove to Walnut Creek. Oh my God, it's beautiful out there. A lot of trees. Oh man, that's like a secret in the Bay. I took a patient to Vallejo one time. Like I had a lot of fun. Like I took a patient to Auburn. One time I had to go to like in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning, to pick up a patient like in Auburn. Like, oh my god, it's like the cabin in the woods and shit. Like no lights anywhere, just trees. Like properties like hella spaced out, and like out there in the middle of the night. Like, and I couldn't find a patient. Like, and then turned out they weren't even there. So I was like walking around in the middle of the fucking woods, like looking for somebody that wasn't even there. It was crazy. But yeah. So my check started getting smaller. My boss hired another driver, and like seemed like he gave him like a chunk of my schedule, and so things were just like really getting like, it just, it seems like things were going downhill. And my dad was telling me to like just quit. I'm like, hell nah. I've been working for this job for 3 years. That's 3 years of work experience. I don't want to fucking ruin this business relationship that I have, because like my boss is a really good dude. I don't want to just quit. So that's why I was trying to give him 2 weeks notice. So I wasn't, let me back up a little bit. I wasn't even trying to like really switch. But, on top of him hiring another driver, my schedule getting smaller, I also had like my first experience with a white male Karen. And like this was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. So I picked up this dude, older white dude, right? Taking him to the hospital, taking him to Kaiser. On the way there, he was hella cool with me. He was hella cool. I wasn't even trying to talk to this dude, but he was steady talking to me. He was talking to me about movies. He brought up this movie called like The New Guy, which is like one of my favorite movies. It's got Eddie Griffin in it, and I forget the white boy name, but it's about like dude like switches his whole identity up and goes back to high school. It's like crazy, but if you know that movie, then like that shit's hella funny. Like Tiger Claw, like that shit crazy. It's one of my like top favorite movies, like real shit. And for him to bring it up, that's pretty cool. So I dropped him off at the hospital. I had to go pick up another patient and come back. I come back to pick him up, right? And I'm running a little behind. And my boss told me to pick him up and pick him up with another patient together. And that's what I do. My boss gives me a directive and I execute. That's what it is, So that's what I was told to do. I'm going to do it. So I picked the dude up and I told him that I got to pick up another patient on the way back to taking you home, which is just a 5-minute detour, right, off the freeway. And this dude like threw a big ass fit because I couldn't take him straight home. My boss told me to pick them up together. And he was like, if you don't take me straight home, I'm gonna call the police and tell them that you kidnapped me. I said, well, call them then, because my boss told me to pick y'all up together. And so, sure, this dude actually called the police and told them that I kidnapped him, bro. I couldn't believe it. So, the police told me to pull over. I pulled over at the patient's house that I'm supposed to pick up, and they came and everything and did an investigation, and this dude was like throwing a big ass like dramatic, he was like just trying to lie on me, and like he was like, oh, you're done, you're never gonna work in this field again, and really tried to like get me arrested and fired, and said that I tried to kidnap him. But after talking to the police and stuff, the police said that we see that you did nothing wrong. You were just trying to do your job, and they let me go. And they took this guy in the ambulance. So after that experience, I was like, you know what? I think I need a reset. I think I need a fresh start, because things were just it was just bad. Things were going downhill, and on top of this, the male Karen tried to get me fired over nothing. The whole time, the amount of time that the police sent there investigating and talking to this dude, lying, right? Talking about he was having a medical emergency. The EMS came, checked his vitals, everything, said he was perfectly fine. Straight up lying on me, bro. Trying to get me fired and shit. And so, yeah. And then my boss was like texting me like it was my fault. I'm doing what you told me to do. And this dude is straight up lying. So after that, he was like, they don't want you to go to that facility to pick up people anymore. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me. I think I need a reset. At that point, I was ready to switch. And the other company was already talking good. So I got ready to put in my 2 weeks notice. So I was planning on putting in my 2 week notice right after Cordova, right? But right after Cordova, my boss went on vacation for 2 weeks. And so, right after he came back, or right before he was getting ready to come back, the company was still trying to hire me. They were like, "You still want to work for us? We need somebody to work," which is crazy, because they were like, "Oh, we can't find anybody that likes to work," which is crazy to me. I was like, "Really? Why is that?" She was like, "I don't know." She was like, "Ever since they gave out them stimulus checks and unemployment and PPP loans, people don't want to work anymore," which is insane to me. But my new boss is like really, really cool. My supervisor is really, really cool. She's from Oakland. She hella cool. She took me out to breakfast, and she didn't really have to train me because I already do this. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And so she cool. And then the owner, really nice lady from Africa. I'm not sure which country, but she's really cool. She's like, "If you need anything, just let us know." And I was like, I told her, I said, "You can give me as many patients as you want. You can give me as many patients as you want." And she was like, "Don't say that." She was like, "Don't say that, because I will load up your schedule. Don't say that." I was like, let's go, because I need it. I need the money. Yeah. And so like they all cool, so right after like my boss came back from vacation, I turned in my paperwork, and I turned in my 2 weeks notice with my paperwork, right? I gave it to him on that Saturday. Well, it wasn't necessarily like I tried to give him 2 weeks notice, right? But like I said, he went on vacation for 2 weeks, and my other company was like, "Look, we want to get you started like ASAP. If you can get started like by the 17th of April, you can start working, and then we can get you a nice, decent sized check by the 1st of May." And so I'm like, okay. And my boss, like I said, my boss went on vacation for 2 weeks, so I couldn't give him 2 weeks. I gave him 1 week notice, right? I gave it to him on Saturday when I turned in my paperwork. He didn't check his paperwork till the next Saturday. And so he called me, and he was like, "What's up, man? You quitting?" I said, yeah, I got another job. He was like, with who? And I told him, and he got so hurt. He got so hurt, man. It was almost like as bad as a breakup. He was like, why? Like, I treat you so good. And like, yes, I felt so bad. I was like, yes, you did treat me good, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and stuff. But if I didn't take the opportunity, right now, it's a possibility that I may never get the opportunity, because they've been waiting on me for damn near almost a month. So I tried to give him 2 weeks notice. He went on vacation for 2 weeks, so I had no choice but to give him 1 week notice. And he didn't wait. He waited till like damn near the day before I was gonna switch jobs to say something about it. I thought he had seen it already. He was like, I didn't check my paperwork. He's like, I need you to give me 1 more week. He's like, I need you to give me 1 more week because I just got some more patients on the schedule and whoop-de-whoop. I'm like, man, but I start my new job on Monday. And you hired another driver, so it's like, just you can just load it up to him since you. And so he was like, man, give me 1 more week. I couldn't give him 1 more week, man. I just couldn't give him 1 more week. It was just too much. It was just too much going on. The pay was going down. You hired another driver, and then this male Karen was just like the icing on the cake, man. And so, yeah, I ended up switching companies. So I got a new truck now. It's nice. The AC actually works in this bitch, so I'm happy about that. And I can double up patients now. I can pick up 2 at a time. So, yeah, the schedule's been busy nonstop, and I'm getting up at like 4 in the morning now. So, but I'm not complaining. I can't wait to see what them checks look like. The first one is probably gonna be a little low because I'm just started. But after you like catch up with your pay cycle, then you gonna see what your checks really look like. So that's what I'm waiting on. But yeah, man, I just had to switch companies and level up. Sometimes you just gotta do that, when the opportunity comes. But man, my boss was so hurt, I'm sorry. Shit, I gotta get to the bag, man. Shit, I don't understand it. I guess Medi-Cal is going broke. And if Medi-Cal is going broke, and all you're accepting is Medi-Cal patients, then it's only a matter of time before your business fails. So I had to do what I had to do. But have you ever gave a company 2 weeks notice? Let me know in the comments. How did they react to it? Do you even give a company 2 weeks notice, or do you just say I quit and you're out? Let me know. Alright, this is RPU, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.